Thanks for joining us at 616 Toy Reviews. This is Aaron here. We're looking at the Black Series Jaina Solo. See you soon. Welcome back to 616 Toy Reviews. This is Aaron here. We're looking at the Black Series Jaina Solo. Very exciting figure. I have to say, I've been a big fan of Jaina Solo for a long time and reading the Star Wars books, particularly expanded universe ones with the Yuzong Vong, where she was a really important character. She's a Rogue Squadron pilot, a Rogue Squadron leader at some point. She also was trained by Luke Skywalker, a big part of the expanded universe. Like I said, she's also a twin. Her brother Jaina Solo, hopefully they'll release one of him soon. Jaina Solo was a big part of the universe and one of my favorite characters of all times in Star Wars. So let's get down to the figure itself. She's a very beautiful sculpt, very beautifully done all around, actually. I know I say it a lot, but it's very true. We'll start with the articulation. She's got the upper ball joint at the top here. She doesn't have the upper swivel. She has the ankle or elbow joint and a twist, a swivel joint instead of the double. She has a swivel on her wrist and a swivel or wrist joint. She's got the swivels at her upper legs. The lower a twist at her upper leg. The double knee joint. And she doesn't have any twist on her lower part of her leg. She does have a really great ankle rocker though. She also has a twist at her bending joint at her torso. Her head can look down a little bit. Can't really look up at all. Can move to the sides, of course. The reason it can't look up is because she's got a ponytail. So as far as the articulation, I mean, there's a few points that are lacking. For the most part, I don't think it's a real big deal. But at the same time, I'm a big fan of articulation. I would have liked a double elbow. I would have liked the joint up at the upper part of her arm. I also would have, dug being able to have, twist her lower ankles or her lower legs. So those are big things to me. I think those could have definitely been improved. Those would have been a big improvement. But they did give us some really good accessories. They give you a purple lightsaber that you can remove from the thing to be able to hang from her belt here, which is kind of cool because then you get to see it in and out of commission, when it's being used and when it's not being used. So that's kind of cool. I love options. Also, it's got a removable helmet that you can put on and take off. Fits on perfect. It looks really good with her. Also, you got a gun that has a holster, very similar to Han Solo's gun. She finger fits perfectly in the trigger. Really, man, it's really nicely done on all levels. I feel like there's not a whole lot of things other than the articulation that they could have really done to make her better. Her face, I think it was freaking amazing sculpt on her face. She looks like a child of Carrie Fisher. If you look at her, you can see Carrie Fisher in her face. And to me, that's a humongous deal because, Jaina, there's been a lot of concept art about what she looks like, but they never actually, put a really good sculpt on her face. She's had some 3 3/4 inch versions that were, not bad. I mean, they were good for what they were. But really nothing that I would rave about. Nothing that I think would be so good that I had to own it. But this figure right here is a very good representation of Jaina Solo, and honestly, I had to own her. This is my figure in particular, so I really love what they did with this figure. You know, the sculpt is great. The paint wash, I mean, she's in black, so there's not much paint wash on it at all. Actually, I don't see it paint wash at all. But the color, uniform colors look really, really good. You know, the paint wash on, there is a paint wash on the helmet. The details of the helmet in particular are good. You can see it's been worn and used. And I really, really like that they added those details on it. You know, I wish they would have added a little more of those details in her outfit on front, though. That's why I do say that there is no real paint wash here, but there is a paint wash on her helmet. It's a really nice paint wash. So the other thing is, like I said, the sculpt of the face is amazing. I really can't stop raving about the figure overall. If you compare her to some other figures, we got a Domino here, a new Marvel Legend that's out. You know, the scale, she's a younger girl, Jaina Solo. She's not quite an adult. She's also not known to be super tall. Her mom wasn't really that tall. So I still feel like it kind of fits. I don't think it's out of place. We got another guy here, DC figure, DC Universe Classics Deathstroke. You know, next to her, still, I mean, you know, Deathstroke's not a real tiny guy, and I almost feel like it goes really, really well together. I think she would flow with almost any 6-inch scale figure that you can put in there. I got a Batman here, put her next to Batman. This is a 6-inch scale DC Batman. It's custom. Also, I got compared to one more person, compared to the new Deadpool that just came out. You know, obviously difference in size, but again, they look really, really well together. I think the scale works really well. I think she's only, I don't know exactly what age she's supposed to be in it at, you know, this figure, but I think if I remember correctly, when I was reading her, she wasn't much older than maybe 16, 18, somewhere around there. I could be wrong. Well, I mean, that's in human terms, because of course in Star Wars they live a lot longer. So, but she was, you know, generally like a teenager type of thing. So I think scale-wise it'll work with any 6-inch figure, especially being that it's a girl. You know, because girls tend to be able to easier blend with different scales. So overall, I have to give her a 9 out of 10. I can't give her a 10 out of 10 for one real reason and that's just articulation. You know, I mean, the upper thing isn't the biggest deal, the upper one here, but you know, not being able to twist her lower legs, that's a big deal. You can't position her really well in a lot of positions if you can't twist this leg right here. But again, they don't have any of her, so this is really the only one you're really going to be able to get at this scale. And I think they did an excellent interpretation of her, and I think any Star Wars fan would be happy to have this figure. So I gotta go 9 out of 10. Since you know, of course, the articulation isn't perfect, I can't give her a 10 out of 10. I wish I could. That's Carrie Fisher's daughter. How I imagine her to look. So very good figure, 9 out of 10. Make sure you at least take a look at her if you can find her, and we'll see you next time. Oh, one thing. Retail pricing. Okay, so at one point she was like $22.99 on the shelf, if you could find her on the shelf. Right now she's retailing for around $25, $30, even up to like $35 on the second-hand market. So you might want to get her right now, because she, you know, at this point she's going to be cheaper. I don't know how many versions of her they're going to make. There's not really a incarnation of her in modern movies yet, or any of that thing. So I kind of get the feeling that you know, she's going to be a limited character. So definitely get her if you can. And we'll see you next time at 616 Toy Reviews. Thank you.